school. So
I have no idea what their cheerleaders are like. I'm sure they're quite lovely.
Ooh, you're getting deeper.
Let's go on to the next game.
I'm giving you the shovel and you keep on going. All right, so Mountain 7 district action tonight. Lehigh is at Ridgeview. Again, Ridgeview collected 371 total yards in this game last year. Trenton Adkins, 1,242 rushing yards, 20 touchdowns. Last week, Gate City kept him to his lowest rushing totals of the year, and again, he didn't get most of his until the second half. But Lehigh has been outscored by an average margin of 49-11. They've also been giving up 406 yards average rushing per game. I've got Ridgeview winning big, 54-14.
Yeah, I think this one could be over at the end of the first quarter. The continuous clock should make it relatively painless for Lee.
Well, it is homecoming night at Ridgeview, so so they'll have an extended halftime to talk about things and see if they can get things going. So a great interstate matchup. Abington travels to the Stone Castle. Last time these two played was 1954 at Municipal Stadium, which
you are kidding,
is now the Stone Castle. Tennessee High won that ball game 15-0. They were William King High School at that point. They were not Abington High School. Did you know that, Chris?
I did not, but my first thought is, why in the world have they waited 60-some years to play this game?
65 years. Abington was then referred to as William King. Of course, they've got the William King Center that's right behind Abington. And if you can guess this, I will buy you a tea.
Well, I still owe you a Pal's tea.
Well, I will buy you a tea for every broadcast we do for the next year. What was the nickname of William King back in 1954?
I'm going to say the William King Tornadoes.
I was going to say, yeah, we got a broadcast here. No, they were the Mighty Midgets.
Oh, I just came up a little short in my prediction.
Wow. Give him the shovel.
I went with King University. I thought, okay.
Okay. So anyway, so he owes me I believe you owe me a drink now for every broadcast moving
forward.
Well,
wait a minute. I didn't know we were going that way.
So the Vikings lead this short-lived series.
There's a tiny difference there in your wording.
Ooh, keep going there. You're keeping going. You were talking about that the Dobbins-Bennett Science Hill game, a long-lasting rivalry. The Vikings actually, they played 5 times. The first time they played was 1922. It was 10-3 that ball game, and so again, the series has not been played since.
On a serious note, I'm really surprised at that, because to me that's a natural rivalry.
Yeah,
as close as they are to each other, you've got a whole border war thing. That's very surprising to me.
The Falcons opened up the season 2-0. And then they've dropped their last 2. Now, they've had some injuries as well. Their starting center they lost for the season. And of course, against Pulaski County, they had several fumbles. They got blasted 49-0. And then last week, Richlands took care of business 31-21. Tennessee High quarterback Cole McBriar, he's been very versatile for them. He's got 854 yards passing, 10 touchdowns. He's also got over 200 yards rushing. I think in a game that's going to be close for a while, Abington, I think, is good and physical, but I think Tennessee just has a little more speed, and I'll give them the win on the turf at the Stone Castle, 38-28.
I think the wheels are in the process of falling off for Abington right now. Was it their center that got injured? Mm-hmm. And they've just not been the same team since. I wish Gate City had gotten them a week later, because I think it would have been a different game.
And as we talked about, of course, Gate City, for all intents and purposes, outplayed the Falcons that night at Legion. They just came up a little bit short there at the very end, so... but talking about games, big ball games with Mountain 7 implications, John Battle back on the road tonight. Of course, they're coming off that they dropped a heartbreaker at Marion last week, 9-7. The Rebels, though, are putting up huge numbers. They're averaging 48 points a game, 342 rushing yards per game. Cody Smith's got 622 yards. Zach Brown's got 503. This game's on WCYB tonight. That they'll be covering. Patrick Henry, I think they want to make a statement. I think they've got Chilhowie in the crosshairs in a few weeks. I think they want to make a statement, and I think they take care of business tonight. Your Patrick Henry Rebels take care of the Trojans from John Battle, 54-20.
Did you happen to notice my rationale for picking Patrick Henry in this game?
The word rebel?
No, actually not. But I said that Patrick Henry has much more of a national historic prominence than John Battle. So I took Patrick Henry.
Mr. Christopher, throwing in the history for the logic. Trying to keep pace.
Or the lacking thereof.
Well, it's keeping you on pace with the picking panel. So. Over in the Cumberland District, Castlewood travels to Rye Cove tonight. Castlewood won a tight one last year, 16-13. That game was played at Castlewood, though. Rye Cove will be without head coach Shine Osborne, as, again, he's got to sit out. He was ejected last week in that 54-12 loss to Thomas Walker. Jamie Carter will fill in for Osborne tonight. Tyler Darnell caught 5 passes for Rye Cove this year. He's been their biggest threat in terms through the air. Matthew Harden, though, has got a lot of yards on the ground. Back and forth, I think Rye Cove comes out fired up. They're sort of mad. They thought Thomas Walker ran the score up on them. They thought they got a raw deal, in all honesty. And I think they'll take it out on the Blue Devils. However, Coach Chris Lark's done a good job with that Castlewood program. I've got them winning and adding one late. Castlewood wins 34-20.
I honestly cannot remember who I picked for this because this is like the other games we're talking about. I went back and forth on this one. I think probably right now at this moment I probably would take Castlewood.
I think you did. I think you and I and Tanner took Castlewood.
I think it will be close.
In close ones. Larry and Andy pulled for the upset. They said that Rye Cove would knock off Castlewood in Clinchport tonight. Chilhowie is at Northwood tonight. Northwood, again, the road's not any easier for them as they have been mired in a 11. Of course, they won last week 18-0 over Twin Valley. But, again, Chilhowie coming in is, Chilhowie is Chilhowie when it comes to this rivalry. Again, this will be Chilhowie's first game in Saltville since beating Galax on Northwood's field last December in the state semifinals. I think the Warriors will celebrate once again. I've got them winning 45-13.
Yeah, this is one of those games where I really don't know as much about Northwood as I should, but I think Chilhowie is looking to try to get things rolling again like they can, so I'll take them. Northwood,
again, plagued by injuries, one of those smaller teams in the 1A ranks. Again, I think they fielded 19 guys last week. So they beat Twin Valley, but again, it's going to be a long road against Chilhowie tonight. Holston is at home. They take on Rural Retreat in a very intriguing game. I think this game will go back and forth, and I think it's a true toss-up. Again, Holston is one of 4 teams in Southwest Virginia that is undefeated at this point, but who have they beaten? Of course, their biggest win was last week over John Battle, 19-13, 2 weeks ago over John Battle. I think this is going to be a physical matchup. I picked Holston, but the more I think about it, I want to pick Rural Retreat. I'm just going to throw it out there. Holston 30, Rural Retreat 22, but don't be surprised if the Rural Retreat Indians take care of business in Damascus tonight.
Well, when it comes to being a close game and I can't make up my mind, I go with the home team.
And that would be Holston tonight. Twin Valley's at Craig County. Of course, Craig County beat Twin Valley last week. They snapped a 30-game losing streak against Twin Valley. Craig County returns most of their guys. Twin Valley making that long trek to Craig County. Twin Valley with that loss to Northwood last week. Don't know exactly what's going on with the Panthers right now, so I'll take Craig County 24-21. Thomas Walker is at Pineville, Kentucky. Thomas Walker won this on a sort of seesaw game last year, 36-22. Back and forth they'll go. Thomas Walker is averaging about 35 points a game. They're giving up just 12 points per contest, but again, you have to take a look at who's Thomas Walker has played to this point. I think they're an improved team, but going on the road, like you said, going over to Kentucky is a hard place to play. I've got Pineville winning a close one, 20-19.
Do you know who Thomas Walker was?
Thomas Walker. He was a gentleman who lived in Ewing, Virginia. He founded a high school.
He also set the state boundary between Tennessee and Kentucky.
That's actually that's a rumor. That's an internet rumor. No. Again, when you bring in
I can't turn it off.
I mean, we're throwing it out there. I mean, it's just, I hope people are soaking it up.
We need to just stop with the caffeine before our games.
Yeah, no more for you're cut off. Okay, so as we.
But he did.
Well, very true. All right, we're about 15 minutes away from kickoff, so let's go through it a little bit quicker at this point. Twin Springs at Hancock County. Again, on the road, Twin Springs, of course, is an improved football team. They're bouncing back, though. They lost 41-0 last week to J.I. Burton. Hancock County was crushed by Cloudland. But if you sort of take a look at the teams they played, they lost to Rye Cove 36-34 on the road, but they're at home this week. I'm going to give them the win. I think they upset Twin Springs on the road 38-33. Eastside is at Lebanon. This is the first meeting between these two teams. And Eastside dropped a 62-28 decision to Chilhowie last week, but they are banged up. They've got running backs playing quarterback. They've got backup quarterbacks playing tight end. I wanted to go with Lebanon on the upset, and I think Larry and Andy did. But Eastside, I'm going to give Eastside the win, 30-27. I think this game will actually be pretty close.
I do also, and I'm kind of surprised that this is the first meeting between the two. That's another one of those natural rivalries you would think would exist.
You know, again, the Eastside, the consolidation of Coburn and St. Paul, right there near Lebanon. So, again, of course, a good senior quarterback, Casey White, I think he's going to light up the board. Again, Lebanon back and forth. They may take out Eastside. We'll see. Grayson County is at Marion. Grayson County knocked off the Scarlet Hurricanes last year, 27-20. Of course, Marion coming off that huge emotional win last week over John Battle. In the 4 games, Grayson County, though, you know, they've lost by a total of 11 points. I'm going to give Grayson County the win. This game's going to be flip a coin, 13-12. I think they take out the Scarlet Hurricanes.
I think Marion will have a little bit of a letdown. I wonder, you know, I suggested they sacrifice a goat last week. I wonder if maybe they did.
It's a very good possibility, as you alluded to last year while we were there. So, Tazewell's at Princeton, West Virginia. Tazewell, again, a very, very good team this year. They've really improved. They're running their spread option. They're putting some pressure on some people. Princeton, though, I think is a little bit down. I'm going to give Tazewell the win, even though it's on the road, 28-25. Richlands, which we saw in week 1, they go to play the AA state runners-up, Bluefield, West Virginia. This ball game, again, wasn't close last year in the second half. It was 10-10 at halftime, and then they blew things open. The Beavers enter this game ranked number 1 in West Virginia once again, and they are, again, quarterback Carson Dibb is a threat, a dual threat for the Beavers. I'm going to give them the win, 28-13. So, Chris, that's got us through Southwest Virginia, Upper East Tennessee. When we come back off the break, we'll talk about Gate City and Union. We've got about 11 minutes until kickoff, as Union looks to be preparing to enter the premises here in just a few minutes. And
I guess they're not going to warm up.
They warm up at the school.
Oh, okay.
They get on the school buses and they come
here. So that
here.
Explains the police escort we just saw.
Right. So they warm up at their location. They'll ride their buses in, and
I kind of like that.
So
doesn't give the other team a chance to scout, and gives them a chance to make a big entrance. That's kind of a neat tradition.
So Union,
I approve.
Union enters the field now again as they've just made their way off their school buses. As Union takes on Gate City here in just about 10 minutes. We'll take a break, come back. You're listening to the home of Blue Devil Sports. This is Gate City Sports Radio.
For exceptional Mexican food and the perfect place to stop in before heading out to watch another Gate City victory, La Carreta Express in Weber City offers a tremendous menu of authentic Mexican cuisine at a great price. La Carreta proudly supports Blue Devil Sports, and they're open 7 days a week, even until 10 p.m. every night except Sunday. So dine in with them today or give them a call at 276-386-7000 for call-in orders. Again, that's 276-386-7000, and they're located next to Weber City Drug on U.S. Highway 23 in Weber City. Are you tired of the negative political rhetoric in the news today? Are you ready for someone who is strong in faith and ready for the challenge to lead? We finally have someone who will put people over politics. Rex Carter is your choice for Washington County Sheriff. He will bring a fresh perspective to the office of sheriff by putting people first. If you want to have a law enforcement agency led by integrity and character, then let's hear your voice for the right choice of Rex Carter for Washington County Sheriff. To learn more, go to rexcarterforsheriff.com. Authorized and paid for by Rex Carter for Sheriff Campaign. Dedicated to a lifetime of serving others, Maria Colabro continues her pledge to help the residents of Scott County as she is running to become supervisor in District 2 this November. Proudly